You're going to become a pitcher.
No, I'm not.
Or sit down.
I'm not. Right there, Keith. I'm there.
You there?
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Good. Rocking and rolling.
Test. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Keith Bryan with Whissel Realty, filling in for Kyle Whissel and Jason Hall today. I have a special guest this afternoon, Patrick Stone from Stone Medical. Good afternoon, Patrick.
Hi, Keith. How you doing today?
Hey, doing well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, it's a pleasure. It's always good to get together with you and see how things are going. What an exciting weekend it's been, hasn't it? I mean, just so much going on with government, sports. I mean, you turn on the TV and it's just one new shocking event after another.
Yeah, daily. I'm always seeing stuff on the news and always hearing political things and, you know, stuff going on and people waking up and what's going on with today's society. But yeah, it's amazing. It's been an amazing week and weekend.
You know, one of the things I'm hearing a lot in the news just this morning is this whole thing about the border shut down, that President Trump is giving consideration, some serious consideration to closing down the border, and different analysts are talking about the impact that it's going to have on our local economy here in San Diego, from the pineapple trade, the avocado trade, and all the goods coming across, back and forth across the border. It's kind of hard to imagine that actually close it down, because us San Diegans, the number of people that commute from south of the border up into San Diego
Absolutely.
to work, and then they
Absolutely.
return back to Mexico at the end of the day. What's going to happen to all those lives?
You know, I think they're definitely going to be affected, and I think a lot of people are going to have transportation issues and possibly potentially some work issues and the ability to make money and the financial effect that it's going to have on the San Diego County community and some of the taxes for California tax dollars. Now, I don't know what I would do if the Hass avocados stopped shipping avocados. I mean, two of my favorite things are avocados and pineapples. You know, I can't imagine the impact on the communities and on the people and the workers and everywhere from retail all the way to the manufacturer, to the grower, to the agricultural. You know, me personally, I would really hate to see a border shutdown. You know, personally, I don't see what the critical need is, or why they're saying that it's going to be a state of emergency or you know, a necessity.
You know, it's just one of those things. As I think about it, there are so many different aspects to the border wall and the purpose that it serves. One, keep people from coming across, keeping drugs from coming across the border. I mean, there's just a number of things that I think a wall is good for, but yet at the same time, the problem's gone on so long unaddressed that it's a much larger problem than one president's able just to fix by sending a couple National Guards and armed forces down there to patrol the border, because the border has got to be something like, what, 1,000 miles long? Seriously, how do you block that off, keep people from coming across back and forth?
It's huge. And not to mention, you know, I would think that the majority of the smuggling is not even done across the border, but rather by water or by tunnel. You know, things that aren't actually going through the checkpoints and the stops to get across the border. And not to mention, you know I was reading the other day that the Department of Defense is going to be shifting $1 billion from the military and the Department of Defense to start this wall. You know, and I think $1 billion from the Department of Defense, I mean, that's a big chunk. And I think that we have other national securities that should be looked into before this border wall.
It's definitely a big chunk of money when you think about it, $1 billion. We go back 2 years to when the president was campaigning, and he was out on the campaign show, and he was talking about the border wall and what they thought the estimated cost of the border wall was my recollection tells me they estimated like $2 billion. That's what it was 2 years ago. The latest I heard, it was somewhere like $5 to $7 billion at that. Now they haven't even started on it. And here we've already gone from 1 to 2 billion to 7 billion. What's going to be the actual long-term cost of building this wall, maintaining it? And I get it. I mean, my heart goes out to all these people that are going to be impacted by it because, honestly, there's so much going on just in our culture here in San Diego, just that heavy burden of families just trying to make an ends meet. When you put an abrupt halt to all of those livelihoods that are going to be impacted, the pineapple people, the avocado people, the people coming forth, back and forth, it's just not putting a stop to the human trafficking, the drug trafficking, the illegal transportation of whatever miscellaneous goods. It's all those families that are struggling week to week to make ends meet that are going to be abruptly halted. And now what?
Yeah, no,
Who's going to be the aid that's going to come to their rescue and say, yeah, we're going to close down your ability to work, to provide for your family, and now they're going to sit there and what? Lose a job?
Yeah,
They're going to,
I'm not sure.
I don't know, get aid? Is there an aid option for these people? I don't really know.
I don't think there's an aid, and I don't think there's particularly any program set aside for that. And talking about the price of the border and the maintenance and the fees, last I heard, I thought it was going to be around $20 billion
Oh my goodness.
to complete the build, and the $1 billion was pretty much just a down payment deposit, and that they really wanted $5 billion set aside to get started. And I would be more curious to know what construction company is being hired to build this wall, and who really benefits at the end of the day. As a whole, of course, I want our nation's society to be well protected and looked after. And I don't know that I agree with a border wall being the number one defense or need at this time being to be built and constructed. I think our money could be tax dollars better used into our education system and our infrastructure and our roadways. And I know a lot of areas in San Diego County that our highways could be developed and improved, and freeways. And I definitely know that schools and teachers and anyone that works for the school district employees can have money sent their way to be utilized way better than building a massive wall. But these are just my personal opinions, Keith.
No, I appreciate that, Patrick, and I can concur. Putting $20 billion to put in up a wall to think that it's going to be the end all to fix all the problems that we are experiencing here in San Diego, throughout the state of California, in Texas, New Mexico, all across the country, that this wall is going to fix all the problems. It's kind of foolishness on behalf of Americans to think that that's going to fix all the problems. As myself, I get to volunteer every week with the veterans of the United States military here in San Diego and spend a day with them going through and teaching life skill courses, leadership courses. My philosophy is, if we're going to turn this country around, if we're going to fix problems, you got to first fix the family. And I can't,
agree.
I'm only one person, and I can't fix a whole household, and I can't fix a city or a state or a country. But I have the opportunity to go in there and be a part of equipping and empowering men with the skill set to be good leaders, and first and foremost in their home. I just read this morning in a devotional booklet, and it was talking about people that have a desire to go into church leadership. And the author said, if you don't have your household in order, then you shouldn't be at the pulpit. You shouldn't be giving advice to a congregation.
Oh, I agree.
And for that reason, it blesses my socks off to have that precious opportunity. So I think in order to fix the bigger problem, let's step back and take our focus off the wall, off of the drug trade, the human trafficking trade, and let's start focusing that $20 billion on the family aid.
Yes.
Healing the families, equipping the men to be leaders in their household, and being a resource to come alongside the women and empowering them for better education, for entrepreneurial opportunities, to providing school resources and more diversified subject matter in the classrooms, like more music programs and more sports programs, just equipping Americans, people, in the United States with the ability to go out and to achieve greatness in their life. But a wall is not going to do that.
Yeah, I completely agree, Keith. I definitely think some money should be going into, nutrition education at school, and the arts, and also alternatives. I think that me as a holistic health practitioner, and focusing more on integrative physical and alternative medicines, I think there should be more emphasis on what the alternatives are available, and educating on some of these alternatives. I was reading yesterday how just in the past year, 50 holistic doctors and scientists have passed away. And who are replacing these people?
Sure.
Who's
preserving that knowledge?
Who's preserving that knowledge?
Right.
Actually, who's continuing on that education, and so forth.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely, you're right. Like, who's carrying the torch? Who's taking the torch, and who's making an intentful purpose to pass that knowledge along? Now, for the last couple of years, one of the things that I've been kind of passionate about, and that is developing that ability to pass that torch, that knowledge on.
Yes.
Because I see that huge absence in our culture with the medical, with the professional, in the family, passing the baton to the next generation.
Yeah,
So
we've lost that apprenticeship.
we have, most definitely. Well, some great stuff going on here in our country. As we wrap up the last bit of the segment and stuff, we're just gonna have to wait and see what happens.
That's it. Looking forward to the future, and hopefully the voices are heard, and things get improved, and people really start shifting into educating others, and each one teach one principle, and really moving forward and developing our growing nation.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited here, Patrick, going into the next part of our segment here in just a minute, and talking about your holistic medical practice here in Escondido, California.
Yes.
So we'll be right back. This is Keith with Whissel Realty, and you're listening to Whissel Weekend here at KCBQ 1170. Oh, man. So we got a 2-minute break.
2-minute break?
Yeah.
Nice. Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying watching live. We're here on YouTube. I'm here with Keith Bryan at Whissel Realty, and I am Patrick Stone Medical Group, and looking forward to all our viewers and who's watching and moving forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what's the next?
All right, so the next segment, so we have 2 segments.
Okay.
Well, there's 3. I'll finish the last one on real estate.
Okay.
And maybe we'll just kind of start off just the next segment just a little bit like, hey, we'll just kind of continue a little bit what we were doing, just small chatter. I was thinking I'd just kind of share what I was sharing with you downstairs about the unexpected experience in life, and just learning to go with the flow of things.
Sure.
Because we didn't expect any of this to happen like this today.
Sure.
Just for a few minutes, like filler.
Absolutely.
And then we'll go right into Stone Medical, and we'll
Okay.
fill that second segment with that, and we'll go into the third segment also with Stone Medical as well. And you're a holistic health practitioner. You have a holistic health, is it just practice?
Holistic health practice, yeah.
Okay.
Holistic health practice and wellness center.
Santee had this to say about the Whissel Realty team. Working with the Whissel Realty team was beyond what I expected. The seemingly 24-hour service that we received was incredible. I'm going to ask a lot of questions, and Kyle and his team.
I did print out off your website all your FAQs,
Oh, nice.
just to come prepared.
Just to make it right for sale.
So I got a question for you, Patrick. What have we covered during the session?
You don't want to put that on there.
What are the benefits of massage therapy and body work?
Oh, that's a great one.
Coming back.
Okay.
Coming back, Keith.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Keith Bryan and our special guest today, Patrick Stone from Stone Medical Group. Patrick, as we were walking up here this afternoon, I was just sharing with you a conversation I had with one of my colleagues just last night on the phone, course of conversation, I shared with them, life has kind of come to that place. I'm 49 years old. I'm going to turn 50 this year. I feel like I've been in the driver's seat for 48 years of my life, in control of my career, my family, business, always driving, pushing, excelling, trying to climb that ladder just to get a little bit further ahead in life. Now I'm in a place where I don't want that drive. I'm driven, but instead of being the one who's driving, I'm starting to sit back into the back seat, into the passenger seat, and just enjoy the ride. And so I was saying on this conversation last night, I really enjoy the unexpected experiences in life and learning not to get put off by them or alarmed by them or get angry and upset by them, but just really just embrace them for what they are. An example would be driving down the freeway, you get a flat tire. Let me ask you, Patrick, what's the most common reaction you're going to get when you get a flat tire?
For the average person, I would say probably upset, a little mad, a little flustered, frustrated.
You say that so calmly, Patrick. It's more like, ah!
The reason why, for me, Keith, I know that anger itself lowers your IQ. It's a scientific study that getting mad actually lowers your IQ. So, in any obstacle that I've been encountered with, I step back, I stay calm, I observe, and I immediately start thinking of solutions on how to fix the problem and how to overcome that obstacle.
Absolutely. And in hindsight, after you get through that obstacle and you overcome that hurdle in life, you look back and think, well, that mountain wasn't so big. It was only a molehill.
Yes.
That trial wasn't so difficult. That was just an easy peasy thing. And you begin to realize, hopefully, this is at least where I'm at. I'm looking at those things and I'm thinking, well, that was an experience I've never had before. Rather than get upset and angry about it and losing any of my IQ over the issue, I'm just going to embrace it and say, you know what? Hey, so what? Flat tire. All right, on with the day.
That's it. They're all just speed bumps. Throughout life, we'll always have speed bumps. We'll always have obstacles. We'll always fall down and scrape our knees. It's the ability to get back up and how fast you're able to get back up and back on track. Life's a journey. It's not a destination. It's meant to enjoy the journey and observe and be present in the moment and to be thankful for everything that you do learn, because even in the event of a flat tire, being able to share your story and educate someone on how to change their tire faster or how to get through that process, they're all moments of knowledge being learned.
Absolutely. Well said, too. I love the analogy. Life is, these little things are just speed bumps in life.
Yes.
They're not potholes where you get stuck in.
Correct.
They're not border walls that you can't penetrate through.
Correct.
Right? They're just little speed bumps that you just go over.
That's it.
And then you keep on going, and then you go over another one. And you learn from these experiences, and your life becomes enriched. Then you take those experiences, and where I really get joy out of those life experiences are the opportunities then to come along somebody else you were talking about.
Correct.
Who says, you know what, Keith, going through a divorce right now, I'm just not quite sure how to handle this and what to do. Hey, you know what, Bob? Not a problem. I've gone through a divorce. Here's what I've learned from my experience. Or, like you said, let me show you how to change a flat tire faster, easier, not how not to get dirty.
How I can relate to that in my own personal life and my business and my career is that dealing with a lot of holistic health practitioners and massage therapists, the business aspect isn't their strongest point sometimes. And I really like sharing what has worked for me and what has not worked for me, and being able to use my own experiences and my own struggles to help someone else in their business and help them overcome some of their obstacles faster so that they can get back on track and become more successful and get that experience and that joy of being able to get over those obstacles and hurdles and really help them out faster.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, Patrick. And just going to switch things up here a little bit, Patrick, and start talking just a little bit about Stone Medical Practice. Patrick and I, we met about 5 years ago.
Yes.
Here in Encinitas. At that time, he was working for a local chiropractor as a massage therapist.
That's correct.
And myself, I had gone in to get some adjustments with this chiropractor, and afterwards, I got a little bit of a physical therapy, some massage on my back. and Patrick was the massage therapist. And we just started talking. And I think as the course of today moves along, we'll be talking about the significance, the impact of relationships.
Sure.
And during that time, getting to know Patrick and his passion for holistic medicine and that approach to healing the body naturally without
Yes.
taking over-the-counter drugs and
Yes.
treating symptoms that sometimes, frankly, there aren't other remedies and ways to treat them other than a holistic approach to it. And from that point, he's progressed over the years. He's opened up, is it 2 locations now?
Two locations.
Two
yes.
locations,
One in
one-
Escondido and the other in Rancho Santa Fe.
Yes. And well, let's take a couple minutes, Patrick, if you wouldn't mind. Just tell us a little bit about your business. How many massage therapists you have, what kind of services that you guys have to offer, and maybe how someone can get a hold of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Keith, me personally, I literally fell into this,
No pun intended.
no pun intended. I was in a construction accident. I fell off a roof and I blew out my knee. And as I was going to physical therapy and chiropractic care and my DO, everyone always encouraged me. Another door would open, another opportunity would happen. And, mentally I was really challenged because coming from an athletic background, playing sports and being very active, to now where I'm having, a difficult time getting off a 4-inch curve, really emotionally and mentally challenges oneself.
Mhm.
And with everyone's encouragement, I felt the need to really look into this more, as I felt that I was being uplifted and I had new doors opening. So I decided to look into different schools, and I found a school that really resonated with me. It was a medical vocational school that offered a more medical curriculum towards massage, and it really resonated, the black and white and the curriculum that they had outlined, and I jumped in, full force. And by the time I graduated, within 6 months after graduating, I actually opened up my own practice.
Okay.
While I was in school, I did work for the Laser Institute there in Encinitas, and I just really fell in love with what I did. Not only was I able to help myself, but through my own experiences, my own surgeries, my own physical challenges, and my own pains, I was able to identify what other people were going through and how I would be able to help. And so I took this liking, and I really dove in, and I learned as much as I could, and I tried to get as much advanced techniques. And I know you were talking about the veterans early. I always try to do a Veterans Village stand down, donate time and help out with massage there. And I've done the MS walks and the MS bikes, and really try to get a wide variety of different conditions and situations that people go through in life, and how my past experiences relate, and what I did to help myself and what I'm able to do to help them. And Stone Medical was born, really getting into that integrative physical and alternative medicines. People in this day and age are really looking for alternatives, how to get something before going under the scalp or the knife, and not to say that there's not times of needs, because I'm a firm believer in allopathic medicine and the time of need, but sometimes the prescription or the scalpel isn't the first thing that should be sought after.
Right.
The body has an incredible ability to heal itself. That's what the body is designed to do. So with physical manipulation, alternative medicines and different techniques, things that have been around for thousands and thousands of years, work. And pharmaceuticals come from herbs and stuff like that. And astrology comes from the study of the stars and other things that have been going on for years and years. So why not focus on something that's been working for 5,000 plus years in physical medicine and nutrition? I believe, like Socrates says, let food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. And I'm a firm believer in this. And that's kind of how Stone Medical was born, as I saw the need to be incorporated more into today's medicine. I think more and more you're hearing functional medicine, which is a combination of allopathic and Eastern being combined, and getting a ultimate goal in aiding the body and helping it what it really does. And so if you have any questions, please, my line is open. You can reach me at patrickstone@stonemedicalgroup.org. You can visit our website at stonemedicalgroup.org. You know, feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm always open. You can give us a call, 760-215-4227. And I'd be happy to answer any questions in regards to holistic health and integrated physical alternative medicine. Keith.
Well, Patrick, thank you for that. And when we come back from break, I have a couple questions for you. But one of the things to our listeners out there, Patrick is a man of passion.
Yes.
And to the extent of knowledge that he has just shared with you, throughout the years, I've had the privilege of getting to know Patrick on a personal level, but also on a professional level. And one of the things each and every time that I look forward to, well, there's two things I look forward to. One, getting some relief from some pain or discomfort. Two, getting knowledge. Every time I'm there in his office and we're sitting down, just as you heard him this afternoon just talk about the different approach to medicine and the benefits of it, I feel like I get schooled every time I'm in there for some treatment about things I need to be thinking about through food nutrition, through exercise, through preventative maintenance. I mean, all these things work together. And it's just not like, come in, let me put a bandage on this or give you a shot or take a pill and out the door you go. It's a real full scope, well-rounded educational approach of healing through those various components. So I've been really fortunate throughout the years to be treated by Stone Medical and to also get to know the president and the CEO of Stone Medical, Patrick Stone. All right, so when we come back, Patrick, I'll have some questions for you. And you're listening to 1170 KCBQ here in San Diego, 96.1 in North County. This is Whissel Wednesdays. Good job, man.
All right.
Some really good stuff, man.
Getting there.
Yeah.
Right. It's a first for me, so.
Yeah, first for me too. To be in the hot seat over here.
Right.
It's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I mean, having some notes here.
Have good conversations already.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like one of our normal conversations, you know?
That's what's nice about it.
Yeah.
We're friends and we have all this conversation. When the other guys are in here, I feel like my bosses in here, it's got to be like professional, kind of thought out and rehearsed, and you have to have all your bullet points because he's been doing it for 5 years, so he just rolls.
Yeah, natural. I mean, after you do it so long, it's like riding a bike, right?
Yes, it really
You know,
does.
just get on and ride.
So when we come back, I just ask a couple of questions here.
Okay.
The one that here, what are the benefits of massage therapy and body work? You said that was a good question to ask. Okay, and I was looking over these were just more like people's more personally curious things. Let's see. Coming back. All right, we'll just start with that. Well, welcome back here to Whissel Weekends. This is Keith Bryan, co-host, special guest today, Patrick Stone from Stone Medical here in Escondido. Patrick, question for you. We've been talking about holistic medical practice and the benefits of it. What are some of the benefits of the massage therapy? Because I know that's how we first met 5 years ago. You were a massage, like almost like a full-time massage therapist at that time. But
Yes.
that role has progressed throughout the years, and it has become something much more than that. It's also been become the holistic practice as well. So talk to me about the benefits of massage therapy and body work.
Oh, where to start, Keith? There's so many benefits.
Okay,
You know,
let's give us a top 5.
Yeah, let's start.
All
Let's start with number one.
Okay.
Number one is lowering cortisol levels.
That's a big one.
Big one. You know, 75% of doctor visits are stress related. So why not lower that numerical factor by lowering the cortisol levels, lowering the stress, changing the hormonal balance, and let the body not be in a fight or flight mode, but rather a growth mode and rejuvenating mode. And so that's probably the number one, is being able to lower those cortisol levels. Another thing that I know people struggle with is sleep.
Ooh, that's a big one.
You know, it's a big one. People toss and turn at night, whether it's from pain, whether it's from stress, whether it's mental exhaustion, and just can't get that sound sleep that everyone well deserves. You know, by getting a regular maintenance, you know, at least once a month, 60, 90 minutes, you're really able to enhance the quality of sleep, lower those cortisol levels, bring down those voices and the noise of stress in our everyday world, and being able just to get a better sleep, better REM, and a faster, just overall better quality of sleep. Another one, probably pain. Everyone goes and experiences pain at different points in times in their life, whether it's from a motor vehicle accident, whether it's from an RSI, which is just a repetitive stress injury, from our everyday lives, whether it's work or the hobbies that we enjoy doing. I'll give you an example. Really big one nowadays is that technology is really influencing what people are seeing and their pains and their joints. Like let's say, on the computer,
Okay.
a lot of us are on the computer. It's an e-commerce world these day
Sure.
and age. People are looking down, people's wrists and hands are resting on the computer. We're not having the best posture. We're slouched over the computer. We're looking down. Our eyes are strained. The longer we're on the computer, the closer and closer our eyes get to the screen. And these deviations repetitively cause myoskeletal deviations, which create pain, inflammation. So by getting a massage on a regular basis, it really helps alleviate those chronically stressed areas and those chronically shortened muscles and the other muscles that are getting pulled on, to be able to get your body back into a homeostasis and back into an ergonomical position that's not putting the stress and load on the joints that causes those inflammations, pains, and long-term arthritis and things like that.
Now, what would be what would be one thing that our listeners that they could do during the day while they're sitting there at their desk at work? We got their wrist on the keyboard and the mouse. They've been staring at the monitor all day long. They're starting to feel that little kink in their neck. Maybe their wrist is bothering them a little bit. Do you have any suggestions of what they could do throughout the day? Because we've been talking about addressing the problem after the problem surfaces. But what can we do to prevent those problems from occurring in the first place? And let's just speak about there at the office.
Yeah, so I call this stargazing, Keith.
Okay.
Really going back to our ancestors, where people cherished and worshiped the sun and the stars. So I call it stargazing, Keith.
All right.
So often are we looking down, hunched over, and curled up almost in a fetal position around our computers. It's very easy just to take 5 or 10 minutes, a couple times a day, and just open up the arms, stretch them out, really reach back, look up. So if you were to picture it, Keith, exactly, just open up the chest, open up the arms, and just look back and give that occipital cervical connection right there a break, and let it open up and let that cerebrospinal fluid flow.
Okay, good. I appreciate that. One of the things that I know that I periodically experience are these headaches. And I was just looking over your website today, and one of the things I noticed that caught my attention on there is that through holistic approach, that I can minimize maybe the number of headaches I have, or
Absolutely.
lessen the severity of the headaches through
Absolutely.
maybe a holistic or a massage therapy approach to addressing that problem. How would you go about, or what would you recommend to myself and to the listeners, some things that they could do, or how to go about lessening of those headaches?
Yes, so I actually specialize in structural integration, and a lot of times those headaches come from a number of things.
Okay.
Stress being one, a pinch or a kink in the atlanto-occipital, right there where all your cerebral spinal fluid flows. So one of the biggest things that I recommend to my patients is just laying on a tennis ball or a racket ball or even a softball right there in the joint where your cervical spine butts up to your skull. If you
And that'd be right there, right at the bottom.
Yes,
of the skull.
right there at the bottom of the occipital atlanto joint right there. And by putting pressure there, and just a light pressure, it can be the weight of your head sitting on a tennis ball or a racket ball or a softball. It actually pushes into the occipital bone and alleviates some of those suboccipital muscles, splenius cervicis, splenius capitis, some of the traps and insertions right there. And what happens as those muscles let go and that ball starts to shift the bone, it actually pushes that bone into the cerebellum very softly. And that cerebellum has about 2 to 4 ounces stored cerebral spinal fluid. So what happens is it pushes that and it releases that fluid. It bathes the brain, bathes the spinal cord, and it really nourishes the brain and the spinal cord with that cerebral spinal fluid, which helps your nervous system communicate better, which allows your body to respond better and give the feedback system that it needs to heal itself. Another thing is that really causes it are the facial muscles.
Okay.
So
A lack of smiling.
Yeah, lack of smiling, right? So sometimes smiling or talking a lot or chewing a lot or even just the common daily stresses in life that make us those muscles that are tightening. Our skull actually flexes and extends. And this flexion and extension is an Ebb's flow that pumps the cerebral spinal fluid around the brain and up and down the spinal cord. So what happens sometimes is we have this big, broad connective tissue on the top of our head. It's called the galea apneurotica, and it's connected by the frontalis, which is the forehead muscles, and the occipitalis, which is the back muscle on the back skull there. And what happens is when our facial muscles and our neck muscles and our shoulder muscles squeeze, it compresses this galea apneurotica around our skull, and it prevents it from being able to breathe and expand and flex the cerebral spinal fluid, which can cause headaches. 75%, I want to say, of the oxygen and nutrients from our blood is utilized by our brain, not our muscles.
That's staggering.
The reason why our muscles are red is because it holds this hemoglobin in it, and it holds the oxygen and the nutrients that it needs, and it replenishes as necessary. But our brain is using so much stuff. And another big factor I want to mention is the neck muscles. You were asking what we can do. Those two rope muscles that you see in your neck, that's the sternocleidomastoid.
The ones that are like right here, right?
Yeah, the ones that are right here. It's actually a big flat muscle.
Okay.
However, it twists so it looks like a rope.
Okay.
There's baroreceptors right behind that on the jugular there and the coronary artery. And by alleviating some of those muscles just by pinching and rolling, you can actually lower your blood pressure. So those things help regulate your blood pressure. So blood pressure to the brain can be another thing of headaches. Eye strain. So, just like facial massages, just rubbing your face, your cheeks, around your eyes. There's actually little pseudo points. You can feel them. They're little divots that you can feel inside your face. You can feel around them. There's several different areas, but just lightly pushing those will help move the energy around and help alleviate some of those headaches.
Wow, Patrick, that was some really good information there. Some of the vocabulary a little over my head, but hey, you guys, one of the things that you'll learn so much from visiting Patrick over at Stone Medical about the science of the body and how it all works together and understanding these pressure points. And it makes a lot of sense. When the brain isn't utilizing 75% of the nutrients in the body, and you've gotten all this stress, whether it's from work-related stress or stress at home or just life stress, when those muscles tense up, because you did that face earlier, you did that,
we all do it.
and it kind of, we associate high blood pressure, but we don't connect all the dots. And we were talking about this at lunch today. Too often, we have all these great resources that are available to us, or bits of knowledge, and we, for lack of just ignorance, don't connect all the dots. And what you've done for us here today, so you've helped us to connect some of those dots and the relationships from the head, the skull, the facial. You were doing the pressure points on the face, the neck, those rope-like muscles, and how all those interact with one another. And when one area is struggling, it affects another area, then that affects another area, and then you create this chain reaction. But with Stone Medical, if you guys get it in there, so I'd encourage all our listeners out there to look up Stone Medical on the internet. And again, Patrick, how do we get a hold of you?
So you can reach us at stonemedicalgroup.org. You can book right online. There's a book now button. You can give us a call at 760-215-4227. Again, 760-215-4227. Or you can reach me by email at patrickstone@stonemedicalgroup.org. Again, patrickstone@stonemedicalgroup.org.
Well, you don't know this, but one of the things that you referenced was that you participate in these veteran stand downs, and you can go to these veteran outreaches and you offer free massage. Well, I'm privileged to be a part of another veterans organization here in San Diego. And you know what? You've just come on my list of the people I'm going to reach out to and get plugged in, because I know,
Absolutely.
I really love our veterans, especially our San Diego veterans here. And not only bringing them life skills, leadership skills, tools that help them and that empower them to be better leaders. But you can't be a great leader if you're wounded and you're suffering from headaches or stress or tension and so forth. So we'll get together and we'll work on that. You're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here at KCBQ 96.1. and 11:70 a.m. here in San Diego. When we come back here, Patrick, we'll be talking a little bit about some real estate and the impact of having good, strong relationships within your community.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Sounds
right.
good, Keith.
We'll be back in a minute. And some really good stuff there. I'm learning a lot today.
Nice.
Yeah. So this last segment, I'll put more emphasis on the real estate, and I'm going to be focusing on like community outreach, client appreciation events, just building that, just nurturing your sphere, your past clients. We were kind of talking about at lunch, just not reaching out, doing the typical stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to be focusing a lot about that stuff. So you just ask questions about that, like, hey, what do you guys do over at Whissel for your clients?
Sure.
How do you stay on top? How do you stay top of mind? So let's just kind of focus on that. So
Okay.
let's wrap it up here.
Okay.
Then we'll-
Damn, it's Hippocrates. I messed up. I said Socrates. I think it's Hippocrates. I can't even say it.
Hypocrisy.
No.
It doesn't matter. We come back.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys, what's
Hey
going
guys, we're
on?
live.
It's Keith, Whissel Realty, Patrick Stone, Stone Medical. You guys all know Patrick because you guys are
All
probably
right.
on his YouTube. And today we're right here in the radio station. We're both doing a radio show for the first time. Well, this is like my 5th time, but my first time here in the host seat. And man, thank God
First time.
for Patrick here, having the laptop, the camera back there. Somewhere that we're Facebook Live. Oh, it's over
Yeah,
there.
over there.
So, some exciting stuff today.
Nice.
Oh, man. Oh yeah, I can hear just a little bit here. There's, I think you'd want to water it for you. How about that? Moving truck. Hey, welcome back, everyone. This is Keith Bryan with Whissel Wednesdays and Patrick Stone from Stone Medical. Patrick, in real estate, one of the things that I'm real passionate about, and that's about relationships. It doesn't really matter if it's real estate or massage therapy, or if you're a painting contractor, electrical contractor, any kind of sales-related customer service business that you're in. One of the areas that I see in our industry that gets neglected is building relationships.
I agree.
Not only it's the building a relationship that's hard,
Maintaining.
thank you. And I was talking to a colleague of mine just the other day, and this came up in conversation, and they said, Keith, what's interesting is people spend thousands of dollars avoiding going out and building a relationship. They'll do everything other than going out and shaking somebody's hand, introducing themselves, getting face to face. Have you noticed that in your industry?
I have. They don't realize what's being left on the table.
Absolutely.
Just with networks and connections, and you never know who's who and who knows who, which you'll be able to help them or they'll be able to help you.
And to that, it was just a few months ago, Patrick and I, we had lost contact for a year or two. When I attended a business networking group here in town, as I walked into the meeting, it was about 6:55 a.m. Yes, a.m. in the morning. So dressed up in my suit, walking into this meeting. The person there at the door was my good friend Patrick Stone. He was a part of this business networking group, and I just love the whole idea of networking with people and building those relationships for the very thing that you pointed out. You don't necessarily know. They never go at it with the intention of who do they know, but it's just getting to know them.
Correct.
And building one of the rapports.
Correct.
And here at Whissel Realty, what we've done throughout the years is we've focused on building those relationships, nurturing the relationships, and maintaining the relationships for the long run. Just yesterday, during a video conference, we had a guest speaker presenting from Minnesota, real estate agent. She's been in the business 12 years. Last year, she did almost 400 transactions 400 transactions.
Wow,
That's a lot of real estate.
that's a lot of real estate.
And when you hear that, you think right away, how much money does she spend on marketing? What kind of marketing does she do? Does she have social media? Come to find out, her primary source of generating business, referral business.
Yes.
And it was amazing how she does referral business. So this conversation is just not about how this applies for real estate, but for everyone in business.
Any business, referral is key. Any successful business will always tell you their key to success was their referral business.
Absolutely. And they have said before, your sphere of influence, it's not your database, but it's your data bank.
Yes, yes.
Have you heard that?
I like that phrase. I like that key term. Yeah, and I have heard the data bank, and I definitely agree. So speaking of data bank and speaking of all these different things, Keith, what do you do and Whissel Realty do to set your side apart, or what is unique, or what are you guys really doing to stand above the rest and be a bar above?
Well, I appreciate the question, Patrick, and thank you. I mean, the timing is so apropos at this moment. One of the things that we do every quarter is we do a client it's actually a friend and family appreciation day. We have one coming up here in just 2 Saturdays from now on April the 13th. It's one of our 4 quarterly events, and it is our annual family Easter egg hunt event. It's going to be taking place here in San Diego at Savita Park.
Sounds like fun, Keith.
It's a lot of fun. On April 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so what we've done throughout the last 4 months is it's given us an opportunity to stay in contact, because that is the component that gets neglected in sales, real estate, and business, is staying in contact with people.
The constant touch.
Absolutely.
No pun intended.
Yeah, right. Our Tom, top of mind.
Yes.
And over the last 4 months, every month we put out a phone call to our database. Not only myself, I have a database of about 500, and everybody in my office has a database of about 500. Together, we have about 50,000 people in our database that gets a phone call in January. Then in February, they got an email from us and personal invitation inviting them to this event in April. Then in March, they get an email and a text invitation. Then this week and next week, they're getting a phone call reminder. If we haven't reminded you enough, so what we're doing that sets us apart is every quarter, we're having a special event for our family and friends, our past clients, to show our appreciation for them.
Appreciation.
Offering more than just real estate services. Let me sell you something, or let me represent you in a transaction. But I have value. I want to bring to you not only real estate, but relationship as well.
Yeah.
I feel that it's the relationship that builds a long-term success in real estate.
Keith, it sounds like you and Whissel are kind of in unison in your vision and taking care of people. And I know we've, over the years, have really built and established a relationship that when we did run into each other, we picked up like nothing ever skipped a beat. And it sounds like you focus emphasis on the community and the people in the community, and not so much on the sales, but on how you can educate, how you can inform, and how you can really share experiences in the community and help everybody in the community.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Patrick. Thank you. I was a young kid growing up. Maybe I was 9 or 10 years old. One of the things I remember my dad telling me as a young kid was this: if you help other people win and succeed in life, you'll win and succeed in life too. Which coincidentally, it parallels with the lessons that I get to share with our veterans about servant leadership. You don't serve from the top down, you serve from the bottom up. And you can move an army from the bottom easier, with greater ease forward than you can if you're at the top pulling an army forward. And I love that approach in real estate and working with the clients that I get an opportunity to work with. It's putting their needs first. What can I do to make this transaction easy for you? Because honestly, it's overwhelming, the thought of getting your inspections booked and taken care of, and then the repairs. Then it's also the coordinating of packing up and moving. Some move out of state, and then there's other additional logistics that you have to figure into that. And my thing is, let me just step into that role for you.
Sure.
And to take care of all these facets of the transaction to make it as easy for you as possible. So all you have to do is sign on the dotted line, and then I come right alongside you, my team and I, and we take care of the rest. I just love that in component of doing real estate. that motivated me to get involved with business networking, BNI, Business Networking International, here in San Diego. Getting the opportunity to build a relationship. And again, here I am in a group of 50 professionals. I'm not going to those 50 professionals and asking them, give me referrals.
Right.
But what can I do for you to help
Right.
you move your business forward to make your job easier so that you're a success?
Giver's gain, Keith.
Well said.
Giver's gain.
Absolutely. And so when you ask, what is it that Whissel Realty does in setting ourselves apart? As innovators in our industry, we're looked at because of what we're able to give back to the community, not only through the transaction, stepping in and taking care of all those aspects of the transaction so you don't have to worry about it. And hey, as you heard in the introduction, we have a moving van. It's a
That's
free,
big.
it's a free
That's big.
resource. We're bringing in an added value. At lunch, we were talking about Gary Vaynerchuk, give, or jab, right hook. It's giving value. And I think one of the things that you and I are both passionate about in our business networking is how empowering it is to have those resources available. When I sit down with a client and we're talking about selling their home and they share with me their worries, their concerns, having the relationships again, not only with my clients, but my colleagues and business professionals here in the community, I'm able to say, Patrick, you don't have to worry about that. I know a great CPA that can answer that question for you, and we'll get that taken care of. You know what? That broken electrical outlet, I got an electrician, I can get that taken care of. It's bringing that value to people, making other people's lives easier. It brings me joy knowing that you don't have to worry about it, and that what I'm bringing to you is a reputation, a quality of service that you're going to be well pleased with and not taken advantage of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I can't agree with you more, Keith.
And so I would encourage you, Patrick, and we were talking about this at lunch earlier today. Let's focus 2019 in nurturing our database, building up our relationships with people that we know, partnering up. You and I, we should partner up and do some annual event or bi-monthly event here in San Diego, where you can reach out to your clients. I'll reach out to my clients, our family and friends, and we'll host an event, a happy hour. When I was sharing about that lady, the speaker that we had the presentation from Minnesota, some of the things that she does that we're going to start incorporating is every 3 to 6 months, she does a happy hour at a local restaurant from say like 4 to 6. She invites her family and friends over.
That local business, helping local community.
There you go. Thank you. Well said and underscored there. And time to build up the relationships. She does this other thing I never heard of before, quickly, and putting things into a numerical perspective. She spends about $1,500 for every housewarming party when they close a transaction. And then that homeowner invites 50 to 75 of their closest friends. And she sends out e-invites to all of them. So the homeowner gives them name, address, phone number for everybody. So they're getting 50 to 75 leads. And she's putting that into e-invites, sending out invitations. And then they go on that month-to-month drip. $1,500 a month to have 75 solid, complete lead contacts. Rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's just amazing.
Sounds like a referral-based business, Keith.
Absolutely. And so let's focus that referral-based business. Let's get together. Let's partner up. Let's just do some stuff. I'm going to put you, I didn't think about it, but I'm going to put a gift certificate in my housewarming party gifts. Come see Stone Medical and get a nice massage and get educated on some holistic practice.
I'll be glad to give you some gifts.
All right. Well, you're listening here to Whissel Wednesdays at 11:70 a.m. 96.1. Thank you for listening today. Have a great weekend. This is Keith Bryan from Whissel Realty and Patrick Stone from Stone Medical.
Thanks for
Have a
having
good
me,
day.
Keith.
You're
Have a
welcome,
great day.
Patrick. Have a great day. Yes, we did it.
All right, buddy. Nice. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later. All right.
All right, that monster wasn't as big and bad and scary.